Regina is busy washing her children's clothes along the road, close to the only water source the residents in Majengo have. She is part of 3.5 million people, the total number of Nairobi residents who depend on the Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company for the provision of water. A company appointed by the Athi Water Services Board to provide water and sewerage services to Nairobi residents. Water that is supplied to Nairobi is largely drawn from Sasumua Dam, Ruiru Dam, Thika Dam, Kikuyu Springs and groundwater sources. The rapid rural to urban migration is fast putting a strain on this resource.
The demand for water in this city is upwards of 600,000 cubic meters per day, while our supply is just around 420.
Kwa manyumba hatuna maji, sasa sisi utoa maji hapa.
Currently, only 50% have direct access to piped water. The rest obtain water from kiosks, vendors and illegal connections. Of the existing customers, about 40% receive water on a 24-hour basis. The advent of the new administrative unit, the county, will bring with it new challenges that have now pushed the company to come up with a master plan.
We are now developing a water master plan to address the needs for this city on water up to the year 2035. We are doing a pipeline from a place called Kiamaiko up to Gigiri.
So that pipeline from Kiamaiko to Gigiri will supply an additional 70,000 cubic meters of water, which will reduce the strain on the water supply in the county of Nairobi.
The population pressure too is putting pressure on the environment and in turn impacting adversely on the health and livelihoods of residents. Only 40% of Nairobi residents have access to sewerage system.
At the moment, we're trying to expand the sewerage coverage by constructing trunk sewers.
And there may be an economic potential in this venture.
Trapping the biogas and using it to generate energy, and maybe in the process even earn this country carbon credits.
There are approximately 2 million slum dwellers in Nairobi's 3 informal settlements, approximately 65% of the city's population. Despite being some of the poorest city residents, this group of people have over the years had little or no access to clean water.
The people who have paid the highest prices for water are the poor, because they buy water through retail.
This could change.
The only way to change this kind of scenario is by us establishing the right outlets, the water kiosks, for the low-income people, and ensuring that these outlets are operated according to an agreement with Nairobi Water Company.
But there are several challenges for the city water supplier, challenges that may have to be addressed if the city is to have equitable distribution of water by 2030.
If you don't consume water through a meter, then you're stealing that water.
Also, they should pay whatever they incur monthly.
The city water supplier, who is now managed by Athi River Water Services, says Nairobi residents can trust water from their taps.
As long as somebody is getting the water from our taps and is flowing from our tap, take that water, is good.
And even as the county of Nairobi takes shape, its residents will be hoping that they will soon have a trusted, consistent and affordable water supply, if only to ease the burden of the constant walk in search of water for people like Regina and her neighbors.
Utawala Estate on the outskirts of Nairobi town is one of the fastest growing centers in the county of Nairobi. Previously, development in this area was slow as people had shunned the area of an acute water shortage. Residents were forced to fetch water from long distances and at a costly price. The area was simply not getting enough water from the Sasumua and Dakaini dams. But since 2009, things started looking up for the people of this area.
The project basically was to drill and equip a borehole and connect the water to the distribution network within the premises.
The National Water Conservation and Pipeline Corporation drilled a 200-meter borehole in order to give residents of this area access to clean drinking water.
We are towards the southmost part of Nairobi, and this is part of the tail end of the reticulation for Nairobi in terms of water supply.
The corporation also sank a water pump which can run for 24 hours non-stop. Using gravity, the water is then released into a bigger storage tank on the ground. The water has to undergo treatment where at least 5 liters of chlorine is used each day to cleanse it before it is supplied to residents.
The borehole in Utawala targeted about 4,000 people. Basically, the production is 39,000 liters cubed of water per hour.
And there are 2 kinds of beneficiaries of this venture. Over 4,000 residents who have individual connections receive water directly in their homes from this borehole. Such individuals pay monthly fees for the water services. And then there is another lot which can only afford to buy the water using jerrycans.
The recommended retail price for water, a 20-liter jerrycan, goes for 2 shillings. We still have households who may not have the individual connection.
The National Water Conservation and Pipeline Corporation, which has since handed over the project to the Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company, is however concerned by the population growth and the ever-rising demand for water.
Mradi ya maji kuna vile inatusaidia juu na sasa sisi tumefungua Kaos project. Tunapata maji ni rahisi kupata kuliko kuendea maji kwa kisima huko chini.
The 39,000 liters per hour production from this bowl may have been just an immediate intervention. We need to meet the medium and the long-term demands for Utawala Estate.
Another of its major concerns is a drastic change in weather patterns.
When there is flood, we see the water washed away. So as a corporation, we are concerned that how can we harness this water?
The corporation is now embarking on drilling more boreholes in other counties across the country. Nimnotabu, NTV, Utawala, in the county of Nairobi. The county of Turkana has been the hardest hit by drought this year after the rains failed. Residents of some parts of West and East Pokot have also had their share of frustration in accessing water because of lack of sufficient rainfall. The problem of lack of water in these regions has also been compounded by the fact that there are no reservoirs where water can be stored. Only recently, Turkana was hit by flash floods, but the water wasted away because there was no mechanism in place to store the water. Residents are now doing what they know best, scavenging for water in water pans that are filthy, which they share with their livestock and wild animals. But the corporation charged with the mandate of developing water sources in the country now says residents of Turkana and Pokot will soon forget the painstaking affair of searching for water.
For West Pokot, the corporation is already in the process of designing a large dam. The dam is called Sioi Murunyi Dam.
Currently, the National Water Conservation and Pipeline Corporation is building 5 dams in different parts of the country. The Badasa Dam in the county of Marsabit is one such project. So huge is the dam that once completed, it will eradicate water shortages in the vast county as well as neighboring counties. The dam will have the capacity of supplying 7,000 cubic liters of water daily to residents, 23 times the amount of water currently being supplied to locals.
With water, you can spur economic development. So, as a corporation, we are seeing that this is a very strategic investment.
And the water body will not stop there. It is also targeting Isiolo.
Isiolo is anticipated to be a tourist resort.
Dams such as Ndakaine and Sasamua have become the backbone of the county of Nairobi. Sufficient rain this year has made it possible for residents in Nairobi to get continuous access to drinking water. And according to Petronila, it is possible to meet the demand throughout the country if more reservoirs are built.
We target to increase water storage within the country by 20 million meter cubed of water.
The 5 dams which are being built under the supervision of the National Water Conservation and Pipeline Corporation will cost taxpayers over 9 billion shillings, and most of them are expected to be completed by the end of this year. And according to site engineers, the dams require one rainy season to be filled up. And so as construction work continues on the ground, workers are also looking up, hoping that the rains will not fail. Nimro Tabu, NTV, in the county of Nairobi.